And now for our teacher spotlight. One of our students sent in that, "I think this teacher is doing an amazing job. They have 3+ classes that they have to take care of all the time and does it so well. They stay after school every day to make YouTube videos for our classes when they could be at home. They have so much work to do and still manage to balance their home life and school life while teaching all day. They still even make time for us one-on-one." Another student adds, "This teacher has been doing the most since the first day of quarantine last school year. From the start, they tried their hardest to communicate effectively, adjust assignments to better suit online learning, and showed genuine care for every single student they have. They made sure that I didn't feel disconnected during the rocky final weeks of last year. They've been working as hard every virtual day since then. They check in on every student individually, they genuinely care about how I am doing, and they're always open to input from their classes on how to teach online better." They also went on to say 11 out of 10 would give her 5 stars on Yelp. This week's spotlighted teacher is Mrs. Szabo in our art department. Congratulations, Mrs. Szabo. It's a well-deserved honor.
I've been using Google Classroom for I don't know how many years, probably 4 or 5 years, but not at the level that's necessary for our current situation. So I've been using a lot more of Google Classroom to post weekly plans, so my students can always see what we're doing, what they need to do, have all the links in one place. And all my students are now turning their work in digitally as opposed to physically. So that's a shift that we have made as well, which I think is good in the long run. They're learning to take pictures of their work and post those and get those out into the world. We're obviously using Zoom to do critiques and sharing things that way. We've used Flipgrids to do critiques. So just trying to reimagine how we're interacting with each other, but still making sure we interact, because I think it's a really important part of what we do in an art classroom. I don't want them to come into the room, exist as this like solo entity, and then leave with no interactions with their peers or with me. So really trying to think of new ways to start conversations and continue conversations about their art and life through Zoom. That's really important to me, that they're making those connections. I try to think beyond, art. I'm an art teacher. I obviously want my kids to grow as artists, but who they are as people is the most important to me, and how they're doing as people. And I know this is a really hard time for everybody, especially as we're going into winter. I think we're all looking at this winter with a little fear in our eyes, right? Like, it's gonna be kind of long. And so I think in an art classroom, we have unique opportunities to connect to each other. And we need to have those connections outside our households, especially right now. So just conversations about life and how we're doing, and caring for each other and laughing together, and all those things we would normally do in a classroom atmosphere that's a little bit harder to do in Zoom, just working hard to make sure that happens. I'm liking that my kids are getting more comfortable as the year goes on with like having their cameras on, talking and having conversations about their art, about how things are going in front of each other. They're not as anxious about that. So I'm liking that shift. I think we've made some good shifts with what we're doing, or I've made some good shifts with what I'm doing instructionally. I'm making a lot of demo videos and posting those to YouTube for all of my assignments. And I'm liking how those are working. I think they're going to be great tools in the long run, because if I have a student that misses a demo, they can always pull up that video, watch it. If they are confused about something that I've taught them, they can go back and reference that as well. So I'm liking some of the tools that I'm building, both for the moment, but how they're also going to function in the long run. I think the best advice that I've ever been given in my life has just been what I've observed other people doing. So watching my high school art teacher, Miss Luck, who is this amazing woman, treat every single kid as if they matter, because they do. And making sure that every single one of us in her classroom knew that she cared for us and she valued us and the work that we did, made all the difference in how kids interacted in that room and how they felt. And so I try to bring that into my teaching, because every single kid in my classroom does matter. And I do care about them and their work that they do, and I want to help them grow and feel comfortable and confident in who they are. I love teaching art. I love my art students, and I can't imagine doing anything else. They're amazing. I'm so thankful for my students going on this journey with me and having faith that we'd get somewhere good with our art despite not being together, because they know, I know, this isn't the easiest class to transition to online. And you know, we're missing some things I can't replicate. I can't replicate the moments in class where I go around one-on-one and really dig into what a kid's doing. And I can get close to it online, but not the same. And I'm just really thankful that my students have had the faith in me that we'd get where we needed to go, and have had patience, and have worked really hard along with me to try to do the best they can at home, because it's hard. They're rock stars. I love them.